Welcome back to FFB Amigos. Today we're celebrating the 3 points. We went, as I predicted in the preview, to 3 point lane and collected what is ours. Chelsea defeat Spurs at their own little chicken coop. Yes, I know it's called the Millennium, but whatever. It's 3 point lane to us anyway. It was a little bit of madness going on as Chelsea has as of late, and it's not surprising, man. We're playing a very crazy team that is so erratic, and with a coach that refuses to adapt to games. I believe that's my opinion. So before it started, I saw a couple of things that were tricky. Madison wasn't in the lineup, and I wondered if Postacoglu was thinking yes, because Chelsea has this ability to also play high, aggressive, fast football like we do. The battle of midfield is going to be important, and I read that as well, and that's why I was really against this whole right back. You guys know I'm a Caicedo fanboy, and I think I'm starting a campaign to end this madness of him playing as an inverted right back. I'm okay with him playing that against certain teams in certain moments, but not big teams, and certainly not. This was not the game for that. Not when you have Kulusevski and Son on that side, and they're going to draw you wide. And I'll explain in a little bit. But the main thing here is, yes, he can do that job. And as I said in the other one, he can probably clean the boots really well. He can probably be a goalkeeper. He can probably park the cars really well. But that's not where you put, that's not the reason to put him there. And I feel that a lot of pundits and a lot of fans, like I was watching Benson, he's totally a fanboy of doing this. And actually Blue Lions TV as well, because that's actually, I started with Benson and then I switched to Blue Lions TV. I'm getting a little annoyed at Benson, although I used to like him a lot. And not annoyed, but tired. You're watching these guys for a little bit, and you need to mix it up a little bit. I was hoping that Josh Aveste would have it, because that guy is actually pretty smart and reasonable. Not to say that the others are not, but I find him to be one of the most sensible, and sees the game broadly more than some of these guys do. And it's about what you lose when you move. The best damn CDM. Like, think about it in terms of, like, say if it was City, if you had Rodri available, and yes, you can play him as fully as an inverted right back and draw him out into the wings when he's playing against fast wingers, but you're losing all that in the progression of what he can do. And we'll get into how that was affected, how the stats changed and how the game changed when he shifted back into position. And in Blue Lions TV, he was telling me, yeah, but I feel it was only like that was a part, but all these little other things happened that fell into place. Like Fernandez did this and Malagusto did that. I'm like, yes, because you put the pieces into the right place, and he allows those things to happen. He sort of ended up agreeing, because I'm cheap as hell, man, and I had to pay for a super chat a couple of times to try to get that point across. He's more open minded, or at least was today, than Benson was on that point. But anyway, still, I'm not saying, follow these guys. I love them. I do. In any case, so that was my concern starting out. And I thought we would have a weaker press and allow faster transitions. And that's what happened. Again, we'll speak of the goals. But aside from the goals, it was a bit of a game of ping pong, right? Like Postecoglou said. And that's the game that Tottenham won. I mean, if in that madness, it creates space and opportunity to play, really fast transition football, and that's the game they want you to play. You shouldn't fall into that trap. Now, of course, something freakish happened with Cucurella slipping twice in the first, I think, 11 minutes, which led to the two Tottenham goals. So Chelsea are down 2-0, and I'm thinking, man, this is going to be bad, because if we can't score one now quickly, it's going to be hard to get back in this game. Because all along, the Lewis is thinking we are absolutely doing the wrong thing. Sorry, I'm running out of battery here. We are absolutely doing the wrong thing with our setup, because we are losing what Caicedo can do in the midfield, allowing the transition, and we don't have the wings. Were just starting to get exploited. They should happen to do it on the right, which is normally a no entry zone. But our best friends, Cucurella and his hair, slipped and led to the two goals. And I'm thinking they're going to come now do this on the right. And actually they did a couple of times, and they just ran past Caicedo like he's not there, because the timing is different to go out and cut, and Son just beat him by like 10 meters, right? So that could have been a little bit dangerous. And credit to them, two things happened in those two goals that are worth mentioning. One is that Kulusevski, what a finish, man! What a great goal! What a great finish! World class, amazing. You cut in. Not much you could have done. On the other one, eh, Robert Sanchez. Robert Sanchez. I'm not saying it was his fault. It's whatever. It was a incredibly dangerous situation at that stage. But I'm not sure what he's trying to do. He's coming out to like block a cross. Misjudges sort of what's going on. He could have stayed in goal or cut the first post, the angle on the first post instead. I don't know. Not great. In terms of Sanchez, he proceeded to, all those things sort of disappear when we win, but I'm not forgiving of them. He played out the ball really poorly, not once, not twice, not three times. So I'm unsure what we're doing there because he's not like the best, shot stopper in the world. He's good, but Jorgensen has proven he can be the same or I don't want to say better, but at least the same, maybe better to be honest. And his play out from the back, has sometimes these issues. And he's a good shot stopper, but he makes these judgment calls that sometimes I'm not a fan of. Anyway, that's sort of what happened there. And now I'm thinking, well, this is happening in the game. I'm thinking we're going to be in trouble. We really need to get a goal really fast. I always said if we don't change the way we're playing, we need this nonsense right back. I said with it, and they score the first goal. Spurs win this game, and that's actually what was playing out. Again, not because I was wrong in the sense that we would pay. I wasn't wrong, but we weren't paying poorly at that stage, and I never thought we would. I just thought it would give opportunity to Tottenham. When those goals down, I was really worried. But then Jadon Sancho, mamma mia, we got Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho back for a few minutes there. What a goal, man! And isn't it a beautiful goal, guys? When it hits the post and it slots in. Oh, what a cut in! What a finish! And honestly, I got really excited. I got really, really excited. And I thought we're back in the game. And all this happened in the first 17 minutes when he ties it. In the first 15, this reminds me of the Southampton game when Maresca was so pissed because he said when we came out the blocks, we were supposed to man mark and for the pressure, and they weren't. And I think he's going to have some feedback similar today because whatever the hell the plan was not working in the first 15 minutes. Again, I'm not talking about the goal, guys. I ask that everybody try to watch the games like beyond like what's right in front of you, right? Like the man of the match is not sometimes the one that scores. The one mistake you saw for the goal is probably a consequence of other things or positioning or other players. And I think that was the case. Aside from the slip, we were allowing this madness ping pong football to happen. And that's not, our guys are going to have a tendency to enjoy that. I'm telling you right now, because we have really fast players that can exploit space, which is, I think, why Nani was benched also, too, because he might be a little too excited to play that game. In any case, 17 perfect shot. Then we see Fernandez slips as well in the middle and the same side. So I don't know if they oiled it up and what the hell happened, but he was a little slippery too. And here in my notes, at that stage, I'm saying Lavia is saving this game. He's playing sort of that inverted, not the non-inverted DM, and he's really, he's recovering the balls. He's playing through the lines. He's doing the Caicedo, and he's doing it well. So again, being a Caicedo fanboy, I'm like, okay, well, imagine if both our DM's positions are doing that and can transition the ball. So I'm hoping for that to happen. And as a matter of fact, Lavia plays a great ball, sets up Jackson, but Dragusin does an amazing block like in the 41st minute. And sort of my notes there as Lavia he gets taken out, but Lavia is the best player in the game. And I think that Maresca saw what I'm saying. It's not that Lavia, I don't know, maybe there was something wrong with Lavia. I wouldn't necessarily want to have taken him out. If you want to be offensive, you don't want to put Caicedo and Lavia maybe. I needed to get back in the game at that stage, which again, it's hard for me not to say it as much, but if we would have started that way, it would have been better. In any case, he subs off, which I think was the best player on the field at that time. and brings in Gusto. So now you have the person that can run and up and down the field either with Kulusevski, but 99% of the time is going to be with Son that actually has the pace to do that. Um, and you put up Caicedo back into the field. What happens? We'll get into that in a minute. But Son on minute 67 misses a chance after a defensive mistake. I don't know how to judge that one. I don't know if you guys remember this one, but it's deemed an offside because the runner goes on the ball and sort of like slows back, and Son just flies past the defenders. Pedro like stopped playing. When you're kids and you're playing soccer, they tell you play with the whistle. You never stop playing. But our line does, and certainly Pedro, which was probably the one that was going to chase him down. Everybody shuts down, and he has an amazing opportunity. The tricky one is because I think the rule is like if the player does not interfere in the play, it's he's not the offside player doesn't interfere in the play. It's not an offside. But man, I mean, if he's taking a center back with him or the right center back with him on a run, and he drags him out of play, and then he just raises his hand, but he already moved him. Um, is that intervening in the play, right? Because that's kind of sort of what happened. He ran with him, and then once he pulled him away, he's like, I don't know, he shut him off, and then Son just ran in from behind. So I don't know what would have happened there. That would have been pretty interesting, but that was a little scary. Uh, and then in 70, well, this is what I wrote down here. So on the 55th minute, so 10 minutes, 15 minutes into the second half with the changes, Chelsea now has 82% of percentage of possession. Increase the the duels that we were winning, and all round play is improving. So not only that, minute 58, the man in question, Caicedo, wins the penalty. Why? Because the man can drive further up the field, because he can cut play further up the field, because he's got the lungs, he's got the legs to beat back their midfielders and hold back their attack, which is where we like and how we like to play. Into the field, draws a penalty, and who but ice cold Palmer, who sets it back and puts them in their place. On the 73rd minute, Palmer again in the box, just making a madness, making things difficult. He proves too skillful for them and draws a penalty. Kind of a silly one, if you ask me. He has his back to goal, and a youngin just hits him. But the beauty, they were trashing Palmer all game, guys, and they were really fucking with him on the corners, throwing shit at him. So I was so excited to see him draw that penalty to make it 3-2, and smashes it in, and actually doesn't smash it in, smashes in the first one, and Panenka's these fools chips it to put the game in our favor. And not only that, man, but that penalty made it 12-12 and made them the best conversion rate in Premier League football and Premier League football history for penalties for Cole Palmer. That's how ice cold, baby. Ice cold. And he's obviously going to do it, man. It's one of those things that after he did it, I'm like, of course that's what he was going to do. The ball's on this guy. Well, what a beautiful thing. And after that, Felix and Vega come in, and Spurs sort of take control. I think those were, I don't know if he didn't expect the 8 minutes or 7-8 minutes that he gave of extra time, of injury time, but we became a little bit disorganized there. I think that was a tricky, especially with Vega. That's kind of a tricky one to happen at the same time. And the midfield and the inverted left back, like at the same time, might have been a little bit much. But anyway, we managed to see it out. Except, well, we give in that last goal because we're kind of in disarray. Fortunately, time was running down. That didn't make me very happy, but who gives a flying chicken? We ate chicken, and we take the points. And now we're 2 points ahead of Arsenal. You Arsenal. And we're just 4 points short behind Liverpool. And being 4 points behind Liverpool, spells those words that I'm not ready to say yet, because again, to me, that's about the ability unproven by this team to go on a 10 match win streak or something like that. And right now it would depend on others, not to raise the level as they're raising, and Liverpool dropping points. Again, they have a game in hand, so that's actually could be 7 points. Um, if we go on our run that we are supposed to, that's where we're going to prove it. Then these games coming up now, between this game and the Man City game in January, we have to do the business against the smaller teams, the low block. Every time we score, because we have more goals than anybody else in the Premier League, the block of our future opponents drops by like half a meter. So we might end up with playing against people that even have the coach standing on underneath their goalposts. So we've been able to deal with that so far this year, and I think that's where those games are pretty tied up, where we can see the other tools, which is so fantastic to see Maresca bring them out. And yes, he risked today. Today, I think he made a mistake, but then he corrected it. Um, yeah, the argument would have been if Cucurella wouldn't have needed, but that's not the point, guys. We improved when we made those changes, so it would have been better if we started that way against this particular opponent. Of course, maybe against the low block and somebody that's not really going to hit us back, that is not fine. Then we can contemplate that madness, inverted right back as a full time position or for a full game for Caicedo. But not as long as you have their strongest and fastest players on the left hand side and they play really fast transition football. In any case, I'm excited to see that we have those tools. A game where Nkunku could come in and unlock. Felix came in quite poorly, a little bit lost, but again, he didn't have the time to adjust into this game. But we have those for those low blocks. So we have everything we need to make it. I think we are going to have a great run. I don't know if we can manage, but yeah, I'll accept that we are in a title race. The minute that, let's say we put 7, not even the 10. If we put 7, let's say 8, okay, 8, middle ground, 8. Or you guys tell me in the comments, how many games in a row does Chelsea need to win to feel that you think that they can go on a long run? Even though it's not the number of having completed a long run, but like once they've done 5, 6 in a row, we're like, okay, they got this. They're going to get to 8. They can get to 8, 9, 10, which I think that's what you need for a title race. So how many games does Chelsea need to win before you consider that they're on a title race winning run, right? Meaning, yes, if we complete all those points, Liverpool still beat us because we can't bridge that gap that they created as of maybe the Leicester game when people started talking about this seriously, right? We can't bridge that, let's say, 4 to 7 points because they're just too good. They're on a run just as good as ours, but at least we do that. Please let me know in the comments. I'm not ready to do that. I don't care. I don't want to think about it. I just want to know that this team can continue to fix these little mistakes, keep improving as they're doing, because we're building a machine to dominate English football for the next 5 to 10 years, as our friend Enzo Maresca told us. Así que vamos! And yes, my friends, thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe. I'm very grateful to all of those that have subscribed, that have left comments. Please leave me comments of anything that you would like to discuss. I'll continue to make videos. My idea and my hope is to do a little bit better every day to make better content for you and have a blast while doing it, so we can all share together into what I think is already a wonderful Chelsea season. And as always, all I can say to the boys, come on, you Blues.